Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Nimbus here, and so today we have a video covering the new MapleStory Assemble showcase, which is their summer update, which means we'll be getting it in the winter. And so yeah, they went crazy with this. They announced a new class, they announced a new boss, a huge amount of quality of life changes, the new event looks crazy. Yeah, I go over everything, I explain everything. Also some new 6-job stuff too. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you guys enjoy it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I've also timestamped everything. And yeah, let's go get into the Assemble update. Alright guys, and so the first thing we're getting from MapleStory Assemble is going to be the new class Ren. Chills. So pretty much what Ren is going to be is the Anima Warrior, and what they said was that Ren was actually going to be a simple class for newer players, more easy to pick up. And so I'm just going to try and just skip over here to some actual gameplay of the class. So I guess first we're gonna look at like the rewards. You know, you get a little medal, you get a chair, an outfit up with the release of the new class. You also get a couple of rewards here, you know, mag pods, boosters, Sonic coupons, a ring selector, some other stuff that I don't know if we have in GMS. On top of that too, I think they're dropping like a figurine and a PC, but that stuff doesn't really matter. What I really wanted to show you guys is the actual gameplay. So yeah, so what it looks like here from the video for the summer update is that Ren is going to be like a hurricane warrior class. And first of all, like I just want to like say, like, it looks so good. Like the animations on this are crazy. I will definitely be playing this class. But yeah, so it's going to be a hurricane class, going to be a warrior class. It looks like you'll be able to hold down your slice and just keep moving around, which is super dope. On top of that too, these are some more of her abilities. She does have like a little pet snake summon that they showed in like the video trailer, but I'm trying to keep this as like concise as possible because the showcase is like 2 hours long. But yeah, so Ren is going to be coming in the winter update for us. Here's some of her mobbing too in Talahart. She has like a little ball she throws around. Again, like it just looks super clean. I really love how the class looks. I'm probably gonna play it, honestly. I love me my one button classes. And yeah, so let me just go ahead here and skip over to her burst. Okay, so this here is Ren's Ori skill, which they showed during the showcase, and I think it looks so good. Like I love the cherry blossom theme. I'm just like a sucker for it. Yup, bro, they snapped on this. This Ori is like fucking nutty. And then on top of that, they also reveal the new 6-job origin skill for all classes. Chills. All right, so it's going to be called Ascent, and essentially what it is like a little mini iframe you do, which looks just like that exactly. And so how it works is essentially you get 3 Ascent abilities per boss fight, so you got to use the ability 3 times. There's no cooldown on it, and it does not get amplified by any buffs, which is also really interesting. But it is an iframe, so you can either use it for some extra damage or you can use it to get out of tough situations, but there's no cooldown on it, so you can essentially spam 3 iframes if you need to, but for each boss fight you only get 3. And so here's a preview of all of the classes. I'm gonna just turn the sound on here for y'all. Yeah, so in my opinion, like they snap with these animations. Pally's looks super good. Like they're just so good, bro. They did such a good job with these little like mini animations. I'm a huge fan of it, like huge. Like, I don't know, bro. I think they snapped with this, bro. I think they did a really good job with all of it. Like, holy shit. Shadowers is so clean, bro. It's so clean. Yo, please let Nightwalker eat though. Like Nightwalker's is really clean. Mihail's 2 is so fucking dope. Like, look at that, bro. Holy shit. Yup. Drip walking. Nightwalker's drip walking. I don't care, bro. I think all the Cygnus Knights got really sick ones. Shades was really clean too. I really fuck with Shades. Like, Aaron's was alright, but Evans is so fucking sick, dude. Holy. Yo, can Demon Slayer eat though? That's the real question. C-Downs was alright. Mechanics was like okay too, but DA is so clean. DA is so clean. Damn. Okay, Blasters is clean as fuck. Let me add that in. Oh, yup. Demon Slayers is clean. Yep, Cadena's is super clean too. Kaiser too. Kaiser is a really dope one. You know, maybe you know Nexon loves Zero though. Like it's definitely gonna eat. Yup, of course it did. And then so this is Flora. Yeah, Arx is sick. Okay, of course. So is Ilium's. Yeah, of course Adelt is like is Biss, of course. Nah, Kali's is sick too. Holy shit, dude. Okay, this is Kinesis. Hollow Purple. Alright, chill Gojo. My bad. Okay, Hoyoung's is sick. Lara's is aight. Chills, bro. But yeah, so those are all of the new Ascent skills that we're going to be getting for 6th job. And so the next thing we're getting is a brand new boss, guys. We're getting a brand new boss. I'm just gonna let the preview here roll with the live instruments. Yup. Twin daggers are sick, by the way. Yo, they got, I mean, like pyros. Holy shit. So the new boss is going to be level 270, and so this boss, the first enemy or the first nemesis, is going to be an Odium boss, which is super crazy. And so here is the difficulty scaling compared to the current bosses that we have. So again, it is going to be 270, and they also said that it's going to be a 3-man boss, right? So it's going to be a 3-man boss, and the easiest level will be around the level of E. Kalos to Hard Saren. And the highest level will be in between hard baldricks and extreme calling, which is nuts. So I think what's probably going to be most doable is definitely going to be the easy, of course, but what's going to be attainable for us on reboot is probably going to be up until hard. That's what I'm expecting. We can't clear hard baldricks yet, I don't think. So I think E, the first nemesis, is not really going to be an option for us. But so, you know, you guys might be wondering, you know, what do we get from killing this boss? And so the boss is going to be dropping the third item for the Brilliant boss set, and it is going to be a medal, right? And so the medal is also going to trigger the third Brilliant boss set effect. So what does it give? Well, the most important things here is it's going to give 20 attack / magic attack. I think this is 20 all stat, but I'm not 100% sure. And this is going to be 15% IED. And so when we actually look at what the medal looks like here, we can see it gives 10 all stat, 10 IED, and the medal itself just gives 10% boss. So this is going to be the new best medal pretty much because of how juiced these stats are, and also it just looks super dope. And so yeah, this is the new boss we're going to be getting in Odium. It's going to be 270, and yeah, it's going to be a 3-man party. Another thing they announced is that the boss is also going to drop a hammer, and the hammer, similar to the ones that drop from the super endgame or like later game bosses, is going to be able to upgrade the medal, but we don't know what stats it's going to give. Usually these hammers give about 1 extra star worth of stats, so I don't know what we're going to expect on a medal, but it is going to be upgradable by getting this anvil and upgrading the medal if it drops from the boss. Another thing is that we know that, you know, there are no stars on it because of on the preview there were no Star Force holes, or like Star Force empty stars, I guess, but we do not know if it's going to be potable or flammable, so that is a potential, but they didn't speak on it, so it's not confirmed. Okay, and then so these are the next things that they updated. They're all huge quality of life things. The first thing that they announced is going to be a story skip for every class. When you first create a character, you don't have to go through the full story. You'll just be able to skip through it and not have to worry about that anymore. The next thing they announced is that we're going to be getting 3 new monster park maps, and these are for the daily monster parks that you can do 7 times a day. And we're going to be getting a map for Cernium, Arcus, and Odium, which is huge. So we're not getting like a level curve EXP change, but we are getting more sources of EXP. And honestly, just getting to Cernium is probably going to be 3 times what you're getting in Limina for Monster Park, just because of how the EXP changes on these maps. So Odium is going to be a huge amount of EXP onto your character every single day, just by doing the daily monster parks. The next thing they announced is that they're actually going to be making NX no longer gender locked, and the way they explained it's going to work is that you will not need to, or you'll have to like purchase a coupon to put onto the NX, and that'll ungender lock it, which is another great addition. It's a little unfortunate. It's like you have to pay for each item, but it is better than nothing. But that is something that they announced. So the next big thing they announced is that cooldowns are going to be refreshed upon boss entry. So it was a little unclear on how it's going to work exactly. They did mention something about like a room that stores cooldowns or something. I'm not too clear on how it's going to work, but so there's going to be either one of 2 outcomes from my understanding of this. Outcome number 1 is that every time we re-enter a boss, we're just going to get straight up all of our cooldowns refreshed in this room, or there's going to be an internal cooldown timer for each boss, meaning that when you enter different bosses, it'll sync up your cooldowns to the last time you were in the boss room. I would imagine it's the first option, but again, I wasn't too clear on what they were saying. You know, the translations were a little unclear, but this is something that we are going to be getting. And so another thing that they mentioned too is that they're going to be removing the cash shop limitations for transferring, which means that your whole account will share one global cash shop, which means we're not gonna have to worry about cash shop transfers, you know, twice a year anymore. We're just gonna have one cash shop for literally every single class on our account. And this, in my opinion, is a huge quality of life update. We don't have to get a fac pet for like each faction or each like, you know, starting area. We can just get, you know, 1 or 2 vac pets, and that's it for the account. We're good to go, which I think is, you know, super great. So hopefully we get this too in GMS, but they are getting this in Korea. The next thing they showed here is that we're going to be getting a rework to runes and to the portal. So they said that, you know, no one's really using the portals anymore. So what they're going to do instead is add in something new, which is this little chest right here. And so what it looks like is it's going to be like a mini pinata, a little DPS check or burst check. And after you kill it, it looks like it's going to drop a ton of EXP. So you're no longer, you're going to have to like, you know, worrying about losing your map or something like that. All you need to do is just hit it as much damage as possible, and it should drop you a ton of EXP. Another thing that they announced too is that all Arcane River maps are also going to be instanced from now on. So you no longer have to worry about, you know, people stealing your Shadow Dance Hall map anymore. They're all going to be instanced, and that is another huge quality of life update that we're going to be getting. So another thing that they mentioned is that we are potentially going to be getting all of our resets aligned. So instead of there being 2 resets, one on the weekends and one on, you know, or sorry, one on like Sunday, one on Wednesdays, they're going to move them all to boss resets. So all the weeklies and all the quests should all reset at the same time. And again, this is them talking about the loot box. And if you see here, it drops like a gem based on how much damage you deal, and then boom, that is a ton of EXP. And so the next thing they announced here is that we're also going to be getting a consumable sequence button. So just like how we're about to get buff sequencing, which allows you to pop all of your buffs instantaneously, there will also be a consumable one, which means that you will be able to pop all of your like bossing buffs at once. You know, all of like the guild skills, all of Sayrams, the boss rush potions, the monster park potions, Legion Might, all that different stuff you'll be able to pop with a push of a single button. And same thing for training. You can pop your EXPs, your MVPs, your WAPs, all that stuff, again, just with one single button. So this is a huge quality of life. You're not going to miss any buffs now when you're bossing or when you're mobbing, and it'll also keep all the cooldowns synchronized, you know, nice and consistently, which is a great change. The next thing that they announced here is something that they called like the super tutorial. I think that was like the translation for it. And so there's not really going to be any rewards for it per se, but what it's going to do is kind of just walk you through all the things you should be doing on the way up to 260, just to kind of give new players more of an idea of like what dailies they should be doing, where they should be training, you know, what systems they should be interacting in. So, you know, I guess I'm going out of business, I guess. I'm just joking, but yeah, this will be really nice for new players. It'll kind of just be kind of like picks from Zelda, if that makes sense, kind of just like reminding you what's up, but hopefully a lot less annoying. But this is like another new system, and I think, you know, more support for new players is always welcome in my opinion, because again, the barrier to entry on this game is really high. Okay, and then here are some more quality of life stuff they mentioned. So first of all, they're removing black mage keys. If you guys are at that point in the game, you know you need to kill Vihilla, you need to do your Tenebris dailies, and then you need to combine them all together to get a black mage key just to enter it. They're doing away with that. You can just enter black mage now, which I think is great because honestly, it's a bit of a pain, especially on characters that can't do Vihilla. But yeah, so you can just enter black mage now, and you don't need to do any of like the prerequisites to do so anymore. On top of that, they mentioned that you'll be able to use storage from anywhere now, so which means you don't need to like walk to a town to get into your storage. From now on, you should be able to just access it from anywhere you are. Another thing is that you should be able to now revive during boss fights or just mobbing if you die while mobbing without having to click your mouse. I think you're just gonna be able to press either enter or Y or something like that, or interact, and it'll just revive you immediately, which is, in my opinion, great, especially during bosses. I hate having to like click and then like quickly move my hands back onto my keys just to revive. So this is going to be interactable with your keyboard from now on. And so the final thing they announced for quality of life is that you'll actually be able to only get prepared pendants of the spirits from now on. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's the necklace you wear that gives you 30% bonus EXP. If you don't use the event one and you use like the daily check-in one, for example, you have to wear it for like 2 hours and it has to ramp up from 10% to 30%. So it goes, you know, you put it on as 10%, you wait an hour, it's 20%, you wait another hour and it's 30%. And if you like unequip the pendant, or let's say like you switch into bossing gear, you have to restart from the beginning of the ramp up all over again. So it's a really great change in my opinion, very welcome. And yeah, these are all the quality of life stuff that they're putting in, which I think is a bunch of great ones. Here is another thing that they announced. So essentially they're announcing that you'll be able to remote desktop onto your phone MapleStory with like their own client, I guess. And so what this means is that your computer will still need to be on, but you will be able to play MapleStory on your phone without an issue, which I think is always, you know, very welcome. You'll be able to do dailies as long as you leave your computer on. Essentially, it's just like a remote desktop client. But yeah, they're implementing this. You won't have to be at your computer to play all the time. You'll be able to, you know, walk in bed potentially, or like do some dailies when you're on the go, as long as you leave your main rig on, which I think is, you know, super sick. But yeah, they could just allow GeForce Now or something, but hey, is what it is, I guess. And so for the next thing they mentioned here is the new and improved Hyperburn. So you guys thought Hyperburn Max was crazy. Well, wait till you see Hyperburn, whatever that means in Korean. So yeah, it's also going to be coming with an item burning during the assemble event too. And so I'm assuming this means you'll be able to use a new class with the item burning too, hopefully. But what this is going to be actually, if you know, the preview can go. Hold. Is level 260 Hyperburn plus 270 1+1. That's right. So burning beyond is what they're calling it. Chills, chills. So yeah, I just moved the scene by accident, but here it is. So you're gonna be able to go Hyperburn from 260, from 0 to 260, so that's 1+4, so 5 levels every time. And then from 260 to 270, you'll be leveling up at twice the speed, which in my opinion is huge. And then from that also, you'll be getting item burning. So we don't know if there's any item burning changes yet, but this is huge. You're gonna be able to get to 270 like giga fast essentially, which in my opinion is, you know, always great, because the early part of the game is a slog, and it's really nice that they're gonna be able to do that. And again, as we saw in the trailer, it looks like the new class Ren is probably going to be able to be hyperburned, because they showed her on the hyperburn. That one's speculation though, it's not officially confirmed, but yeah, they're adding this in too. And here again, you know, it might still be speculation, but here's a title we're getting for Burning Beyond. I don't know what all of these mean because I can't read Korean, but this I think is 20 boss. I think one of them's 20 boss, one of them's 20 EXP. I think that's 30 attack. Don't quote me on it though. I don't know what this means. But yeah, as you can see here, there's going to be even more rewards. So this looks like fragments here. This looks like fragments here. This looks like the Arcus symbol. More fragments. More fragments. I don't know what this stuff is, and that is the Odium symbol. And again, we do see the new class Ren here on the Hyperburn Beyond rewards, which means that I think we will be able to Hyperburn Beyond the new class. And if that's the case, guys, mark my words, I will Hyperburn Max, or Hyperburn Beyond, I guess is the new term, the new class, because I love how it looks, and it is a one-button class, and hey bro, that's all you had to say. That's all you had to say. But yeah, we're also going to be getting a new event, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip over to that. Okay, so here is the new event we're going to be getting. So there's going to be two, I guess, like portions of this event. They'll both be running at the same time, but essentially there's going to be like a solo portion, and there's going to be like a server-wide portion where everyone does like certain quests, and the total server contribution adds to the event for everyone. And so first and foremost, I don't know if you guys have noticed, because you know I don't expect you guys to read Korean, but they did away with daily mob kill counts for this event. So all you need to do every day is just literally load up MapleStory, click check in, and then boom, you get the rewards. And then so for these little special portions here, what these are is a 2-in-1 claim pretty much. So the rewards in this honestly look insane, guys. Prepared pendant, standard, a bunch of Sonic coupons, event ring, strawberry farm, which is all standard. And these are 50 symbol selectors. So it looks like you get like one every single week, which is like really nice. And also these advanced EXP tickets are super useful too. Here's a transcendent growth potion just off rip like that. You know, a bunch of more boosters, fragment selectors. It's just a bunch of great rewards with another hyperburn in the, like, I guess third portion of the event. I'm assuming this is broken up. They did say that, as you guys can see here, actually, the event is going to be 3 months long. So they did say that they didn't want it to feel like too boring, so they are going to be adding other events simultaneously with this event, but this one specifically is going to be 3 months long. And then so this event here is going to be the server-wide event. So as you guys can see, the rewards are a little different. Here's another Transcendent pot. So I guess we're getting 2 during this event, which is crazy. It doesn't say how many advanced tickets we're going to be getting here, but we are going to be getting those. And also we are going to be getting event buffs on this side here. But again, I can't read Korean. I don't know what this says. I'm assuming, yeah, honestly, like, I don't know what any of these mean, but we are going to be getting event buffs here too. Oh, actually, there is one note I do have here. So it does say that there is going to be a new event buff that you can spec into, which is going to be bonus EXP or bonus rewards from Epic Dungeon. So they didn't specify if it's just EXP, just the rewards, but it does say it's going to increase the potency of Epic Dungeon as one of the rewards here. And so again, if you guys weren't aware, we are going to be we're going to be able to do Epic Dungeon on 2 different characters. So High Mountain on one character, High Mountain on one character, and Angler Company on one character is what I meant to say. But yeah, so this is gonna be bonus on both of them, which is, again, super great for account progression and just super great in general. Another little cute thing they announced is they're going to be making a MapleStory themed PC cafe in Korea. So this doesn't really concern us, but you know, I'm trying to cover everything, so I'm just going to mention that real quick. And the next thing they announced here is actually Challenger World Season 2. Chills. So something they talked about was that they noticed that, you know, being in Challenger World for too long ended up not being worth it because of how difficult it became to progress, because you're lacking, you know, links, legion, boss mules to help fund the character, all of that stuff. And so they wanted to add more incentives for people to push endgame on the Challenger World. So I'm just gonna go ahead and skip over to that. So as you guys can see here, they're adding in Saren, Kalos, and Calling as rewards in the Challenger World. So, you know, this is crazy. And how do they expect us to do that? Well, first of all, it seems like we're going to be getting better buffs from the Challenger World. And also they added in a couple new systems. So this is the first system they added in. I don't know what it is called because I can't read Korean, but as you can see here, it does give you buffs, 40% stat just off of this item, plus flat stat, which is already like nutty. And so, you know, there's 5 tiers. Looks like to be the highest tier because this one's green, that one's green down here. This is probably going to be like the final form of it, but it's still a crazy amount of damage. And this is going to upgrade with you like a new piece of gear, they said, as you progress through the Challenger World. Another thing they're doing in KMS, because, you know, MC had the Calling special reward for the current Hyperburn, I guess, or the previous one that Korea got. And as you can see here, there's a bunch of goodies in here, tons of flames, symbol selectors, a couple fragments, you know, pots. But what's really crazy is right after it, as you guys can see here, that's a Genesis box. So what they said is that you'll actually be able to liberate in the Challenger World, and they made it easier. So there's a couple things that they did to make liberation more viable in the Challenger World. So what they said is that it'll be about 3 times faster to liberate in the Challenger World. So theoretically, you could get this done in, I think like around 2-ish months, maybe a little more than 2 months, potentially 3, depending on if you can solo everything right off the rip or not. But yeah, they did put this behind a paywall, so I think it was like 30k NX to be able to like buy this special Genesis box or whatever. But the option is there. You know, we're not KMS, so hopefully we get a more free-to-play friendly version of this for reboot. But yeah, this is something that they're doing in the Challenger World. Another thing they added too is that you'll actually be able to do your liberation missions, some of them at least, in parties of 6. So I'm assuming that's going to be the Will and the Hilla one, potentially Lucid too, but we'll have to see. Also, yeah, they're just making it a lot easier to liberate. They're tripling the amount of, I guess, like progress you get on your new liberation bar that we're getting with this new patch. The final thing they mentioned too is that for that piece of gear that we previously saw that upgrades with you, it's going to have like a rest system too, where you don't have to log in every day to do it, but it stacks up to like 20 per week. So we'll have to see how that works with the challenger system. We don't know if it's I'm not sure if it's for the gear for like the rewards, but there is going to be a rest system in Challenger World. And then, so these are more of the rewards you can be expecting from the Challenger World. So another free 4K Legion, and another 600 free fragments. I think these are the most notable for us reboot players. But yeah, that's going to be the main things we're looking forward to. So just to wrap it up one more time, it's going to be the new class Ren, the new 6 job skills, the Ascent skills, the new Odium boss, the 270 boss that has the new brilliant pitched item, which is the medal, and all these quality of life changes that I just mentioned too. So yeah, I'm super stoked. Also, you know, the Challenger World, mobile PC, and the event that's coming along too all look super fat. I'm super stoked for this event. I genuinely think Nexon cooked with this. Yeah, I just can't wait for this to hit sooner. Finally a new boss within my reach that isn't Baldrix, and yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry if it's like super choppy or like, you know, really like it seems kind of rushed. It's like 6 a.m. for me. I stayed up all night just watching the showcase and just cranking the video out right after. Hopefully you guys, you know, learned something new from this video about what to look forward to. And yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Oh yeah, also don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're still gunning for 1,000 subs, and yeah, every sub counts. And I stream live on Twitch Sunday to Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/NimbusReboot. Hopefully I catch you guys on one of my streams. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next video. Comment down below what you guys think was the most exciting part of the Assemble showcase. And yeah, peace out.